Hello guys, and welcome to the first game of the Medieval Wars between TyRanT and JX. Obviously TyRanT here, one of the favourites to win this tournament, and I thought I would do the right thing here and commentate these games because these were not shown on the AOC's own channel, so I'm going to do that right now. And obviously TyRanT is, as I said, one of the favourites to win. JX though, still pretty strong players, and to be honest with you, I'm not really sure who they are, but we'll have a look at who is playing in just a second. So up to the north, sort of west of the map, is the Viper in teal playing as Saracens. Down to the south of him is his teammate K-Cap, or Cap, playing in blue as Mayans. And over to the other side of the map, on the right of the Viper, is Jordan23 playing as Spanish. The return of Jordan23, who has been in America for a good, I think, 6 months now. He has been in America, so he's coming back to the game. He's obviously, well, he might be a little bit rusty. I've not really seen many games from him. He's not been able to play AOC for quite some time. So that makes up Team TyRanT right here. Some pretty big names right there. And before I continue and introduce the other guys, sorry for any banging in the background. Our house is being renovated at the moment, and that does mean that workmen have to bang around and make a lot of racket, which is annoying to say the least, but not a lot I can do about it. Anyway, Team JX, and now, you know, this team, they're a Chinese team, and I don't recognize any of the names. I've got a feeling they've all created new accounts for this, but they seem to be pretty strong. They're all 2k pluses, if I remember correctly, and you know, there's a lot of good teams in China. There's a lot of really strong Chinese AOC players, and this is just one of the teams, Team JX right here. We have Ming in green up to the sort of east of the map, playing as Saracens. Down to the south of him in the east as well, we also have San King Shan, I'll just say San. He's playing as Mayans in red, and his teammates over to the left, very detached I would say from the other two of his teammates, is Long in purple playing as Spanish. So as you can see, we have got mirror civilizations, and the map is light random. More specifically, the map is meatballs, if I am not mistaken. Now this map is kind of interesting actually. It's one of the light random maps that was made by the Prophet, and as you can see, the starting island, you begin with your standard amount of sheep, no boar, very little wood, one patch of forage, 2 patches of gold, 2 patches of stone, and a load of deer. So it's similar in a sense to migration, in the fact that you will have to make sure that you get onto the center island, where there is a few more resources. You've got gold, you've got stone in the center, you've got a few relics as well, and also in the corners where you have gold as well as stone and all of that stuff. I would say at the moment though, the map does look a little bit imbalanced against the JX team. It kind of does look like TyRanT team here has a little bit of a better map. They've got more resources in the corners for a start, and they are, I don't know, it seems a little bit closer. I mean, looking at the map, you'd assume that these 3 players are teamed and these 3 players are teamed, when in actually it's shifted around a bit, and obviously the 2 flank players here, Long and Jordan, are very close to their opponents. But this map is also interesting because the water isn't joined. Now there is water, and it's worth docking in my opinion, because you do have some big fish in this water here, and plenty of shorefish as well. But the water isn't joined to your opponents, it's only joined by little canals to your teammates. As you can see, small canals right here and here, which can allow in the late game, if you so desire, to do water trading. You can put some, well, a dock here for instance, and a dock on this side, and you could trade around the back along this long canal that exists on same as both sides. So it's possible to trade on water, and obviously the gold in these starting islands is fairly sparse, and once the gold in the corner runs out, or even in the center, they're going to want to get trade up, and as you can see here, with this being blocked by trees, it's not going to be possible for them to trade on land without it being a bit of a catastrophe. And obviously in team games, trading is really important, as obviously when the gold starts to run out, you're going to need that extra boost of gold from the trade there. So trade possibly on the water here, it could be a possibility, and they're going to be fighting, I think, to control these canals a little bit later on. So each team sort of has another island as well that's separated from the mainland. It's really an interesting map. where they have another gold on. But one thing is for sure, all of these players are going to have to transport away from their starting island here. Now, if we have a quick look at what everyone's doing, you can see they are trying to lure their deer in towards their town centres, and that's going to make quite a big difference. If they can lure their deer towards their TCs better than the others, they're going to have a much bigger food boost in the early game, and they're going to be able to get up to the feudal age much quicker. There's actually quite a large amount of food on this starting island, really, compared to how much of the other resources you've got. But one of the biggest things here is the amount of wood that these guys have on their start island. Some players might decide it's not worthwhile to build a lumber camp. So far you can see everybody has built a lumber camp. There's enough trees there to justify it. But, well, actually saying that, taking that back, San here hasn't built a lumber camp. He just doesn't think it's worth it. Unfortunately, his wood's fairly split up, so building a lumber camp might not be worth it for him. So he saved himself 100 wood there. So they're going to have to get up to feudal reasonably quickly before their wood runs out. And then they're going to have to transport villagers either to the back of the map or the centre of the map. And I think, personally, the back of the map is a much better option. It's much safer from enemies. However, once they get up to the castle age, they really are going to want to be starting to put pressure on the centre, maybe building some TCs and castles here to secure the gold that exists in the middle. It's kind of it's a weird map. It's very weird. There's no obviously direct water to your opponents, and it's rare that you have water around your island, your starting island, and not have any water that connects you to your opponents. So in order for the players to actually get to the opponent's starting island, they've got to cross. Well, they've got to take units from here to here, and then they have to take units from here to here. It's just really messy. So I think unlikely to see a landing. Very unlikely, but I think they'll probably be fighting over the centre of the map, and if you do gain the control of the centre of the map, then it's going to be pretty bad news for everyone else. So it looks like everyone's just about getting ready to go up to feudal now. Viper, interestingly enough, putting a barracks down. Now, I don't really know why he decided to put a barracks down here this early on. Maybe they're going to be doing some really funky strategy with landing archers or something over to the other side. Could be a possibility, but again, it's going to be tough for that to really pay off. It's unlikely, however, that players will make galleys in here, I think, because there's not really much point making galleys on water that you already control. Unless your opponent makes a dock on here and starts making fires, for instance, then you could lose control of the water. It's worth noting, it looks like everyone's going to be doing a fast castle as well. As you can see, most players here going up on even 30 population for San here. So it's going to be fast castles, 33 for K-Cap, wow. That's very, very high number of villagers. But they're all going to be fast castling, and it's obviously going to be the case there with the fast castle just because of how far apart they are, how awkward it is to get a landing. So fast castling is certainly the right choice to do. And I think all of these players are well aware what the map is by now. One thing about this tournament is that obviously with all of the maps being, well, a lot of light random maps being involved, with the first map of each set being a light random map, there's a lot of variety and a lot of different things that it could be, which could throw a lot of people off. So it's really important that the players know the maps and they learn the maps. So Viper then up to feudal. As we can see, he's already going to be taking villagers over to the, well, is he going to be going to the back or the front? We'll have to wait and see. He could go here, it's very close. But, as I said earlier, because he built the barracks, looks like he's not even going to land on here. He's going to go right onto the centre. And he may build an archery range, try and get really aggressive on one of them early on. I'd be really interested to see if he does decide to do that. We'll keep an eye out on where this transport ship is going. So he's going to land on the centre here. He may not even get really aggressive, but there we go, an archery range going down. I was actually right. 2 archery ranges even, and it looks like he wants to take control of this centre area very quickly and prevent the JX team from even getting on there, let alone getting anything up on there, any military buildings or anything like that. Everyone else pretty much ready to go up, well, up in feudal right now. I think Jordan's just about to hit feudal. Everyone else is roughly there, so we've got to see a bit more transporting going on fairly soon. Obviously this here from Viper is interesting to me, interesting. So there's K-Cap, he's going to be, or Cap even, he's going to be taking his transport ship and going straight over here. And now this area is interesting because it is very, very close to purple here. In fact, he could even reach purple. He's even building an archery range as well. So these guys really are trying to get aggressive, the TyRanT team. It looks like the JX team playing a little bit more passively, landing on this island here just to take wood and with no intention of making any military buildings. And again, it looks like Long here could be taking wood at the back, but if he does take wood at the back, he's going to find himself being flushed by KCAP here, and KCAP as well, going to be up to castle, right, well, I was going to say fairly soon, he's just clicked up, so crossbows are a real possibility from all of these guys. Looks like Viper may be up castle, oh no he's not, okay, he's really investing into this feudal here. Again, Ming here just trying to build lumber camps and not really too fussed about getting aggressive. Let's see what Jordan's doing. See. Where is the transport ship? There we go. Transport ship coming out from him. He may decide to dock at the back, but if they are really getting aggressive on the middle, then maybe Jordan's going to go middle too. It's hard to say. But this looks interesting. Ming, again, just sending more villagers over, and they're going to send a lot of villagers over to the center island. As you can see, there's really not a lot to be desired on this star island. They're all going to want to ship their villagers off as much as they can. So here we go, we see Long here with a lot of villagers gathering wood. In fact, well, that's a lot. That's like, I don't know, 15 villagers maybe. And KCAP hasn't actually scouted that. If he scouts that, he's going to see it, and he is going to be, well, he might notice this tree here. If he's observant enough, he may just notice this tree. And if he does notice that tree, then he could send archers over there straight away and do some big damage. It could also be the case that KCAP's going to build a dock here, maybe build some fire ships and control the water around Long's base, and then land some archers over. Could also be a possibility. Let's see if the Viper's actually scouted over this side where Ming is. He's not actually, he's very close. He really is starting to scout this main island to make sure that no one's on here. If he does scout over here, he'll find Ming, and Ming is going to find a lot of archers coming his way. So let's see, is KCAP going to notice this tree? He's sending an archer back, so it could be the case that he's seen it. I mean, if you look, you can see that there is a chopped tree there, and KCAP may have noticed it because he's sending an archer right in that two archers in that direction. He is certain that the guy he's looking for is there. He is well aware of what's going on. TC going up right here for him as well, and there we go, he's found them. JX now going to be in a bit of trouble. He may decide to get a tower up here, but if he doesn't do something, he's going to lose a lot of villagers. He's going to go and attack with archers there, building a barracks of his own, but he doesn't have a barracks down yet, so he can't just pump out skirmishes really quickly. He has to get the barracks and the archery range up first. Meanwhile, Cap upgrading to crossbow, he might put another archery range down here, and it's going to be, there we go, a tower from Long as well. This side, they've already scouted out where Ming is, and Viper likely then to be sending over archers his way. Indeed he is. There we go, we're seeing an archer and a scout over there. More archers going that way as well, and it looks like this really aggressive style here is going to pay off. Well, it could pay off, we'll see. Crossbows then for KCAP now, and he should be making more fairly soon as well. Going to be able to do quite a lot of damage to Long here. He is also in the castle age, it's worth noting, so he can make a siege workshop. He's got the wood for it. He can make a siege workshop once this TC's up, take down this tower with a ram, and there's going to be very little Long can do about it. Long building a blacksmith back at his base, so maybe thinking about doing something to retaliate here. He has to do something, he can't just rely on a tower, because KCAP can put the archers under the tower, in which case the tower won't be able to hit them, and he's going to be absolutely fine. But actually, no, saying that, Long isn't going to make an archery range, is he? He's playing as Spanish, and Spanish here going to have to make knights here. He doesn't have really the option of making archers because he can't upgrade them to crossbow. So Long going to go with knights, I think. He's going to have to get a stable down. But this is really a lot of pressure for him to have to deal with here, and going to lose a lot of villagers potentially. Viper then attacking over this side. Interesting stuff from Ming here though. He has put a double dock at the back, and he's starting to take out Jordan's fishing ships. Jordan responding with a fire, but he's got to be careful because if this transport ship gets sunk, then he's going to find himself losing villagers very quickly. Is he going to make it? He's got to be able to make it. He has to get that transport over there, otherwise he would lose those villagers, and that would be a huge loss for him. Jordan responding very well indeed, and even getting up a castle right now, so we're going to see conquistadors from him, and this wood collection from Ming here can, well, you may as well say goodbye to it right now. That tower's going to go down straight away thanks to that castle, and it looks pretty bad for all of these guys. Okay, so Long actually not waiting to get a stable up, not waiting for castle. He's too far away, he needs to react now, and he's going to do that by creating 2 archery ranges and making skirmishes, which he can do. So he may just be able to hold off K-Cap, but the losses are going to be very high very quickly. We do have San in the centre though, with a castle down, so we could see some plumed archers from him coming out already. Yeah, we see a couple right there. He needs to help his teammates out here. Surprisingly, Jordan not focusing down this tower, but he's really, they're really doing a good job here at killing off Ming, and he's chasing him down. He's trying to get through this area here, but he's walling it up, and Viper's not going to be getting through, I don't think. He didn't actually notice. He could have got through there and stopped that wall from happening, but a couple of archers going to be doing just fine. This side, there we go, Long just reaching castle right now. You can see skirms from him, and if he gets enough skirms out, he can deal with K-Cap fairly easily. Elite skirmisher being researched as well right there, so makes a lot of sense for him to do that. But the thing is, K-Cap's already got a sound centre here. He's now just throwing up a siege workshop as well, so a mangonel is going to be able to do lots of damage against the skirms as well. So it's really not looking so great for the JX team right now. You can see Ming here with a huge score difference compared to everyone else, thanks to this pressure from the Viper and Jordan. Jordan then could be making some conquistadors fairly soon, but at the moment getting TC up, well, a TC up on the center island. He may get another fairly soon as well, and there we see a couple of conquistadors coming out from him. And I think TyRanT did play this very well, and they've played it very cleverly by getting really aggressive in the center very quickly and trying to do damage as fast as they can and take control of this area as fast as they can. We see Ming now though, safe haven at the back of the map, able to collect wood in peace. Let's see, is K-Cap going to be getting a mangonel out? Yes, he is. It's nearly done. A castle on the front for him as well, and he is playing his mines, so castle is really important for mine players. And these scams really not going to be able to do all that much against a TC here. Waiting for this mangonel to do some big damage. That's what I want to see right now. Ming Long even, really trying to prevent this from happening. He really does not want this. If this castle goes up, he may as well say goodbye to all of this, and he's got his transport ship waiting here, almost like waiting just so he can get himself back. Viper then just reaching castle right now, and it took him quite a while to reach castle, but that is of course at the expense of going really aggressive in the center. Nice use of the mangonel here by K-Cap, or Cap, and he's going to be able to really start putting some more pressure on with that. Going to keep these skirmishes at bay, and he should allow himself to get the castle up right now. Going to be repairing that with some villagers as well, making full use of that mangonel right there. And K-Cap may lose a couple of villagers, but it's worth it. If he loses 1 or 2 villagers at the expense of getting this castle up, it is certainly worth it. Viper then under a bit of pressure from San King Shan right now. Looks like he will get this TC up in time. He's going to be able to do it at the expense of losing a few villagers, but that's 2 TCs that are going to go up straight away. He's already got crossbow upgraded. But of course, plumed archers are pretty damn strong. They're going to be able to beat crossbows in a 1v1 fight. So, pretty tough stuff for Viper over there. But the castle on this side now up for Cap. And the pressure is on for Long Hu Shan, because of course he has a mangonel and a TC going up back here. But against plumed archers and against mangonels, or the second mangonel from K-Cap, he is not going to have this TC for very long if K-Cap moves forwards and spots it out. Looks like San here actually sort of carrying the JX team at the moment. But obviously we've got Conquistadors in here now as well, and Conquistadors are going to fare slightly better against the plumed archers. Of course they are a bit more expensive, so it's kind of still about even. I'd say the plumed archers were even sort of at an advantage here, as they are just so cheap and so strong for what you're getting. So let's have a look what's going on back here. Ming's still trying to dock over at Jordan's base, and he's just thrown up another dock right now, and I think Jordan should see that. I'd be interested to know actually if he's going to be making a fire from that. Oh, sorry, let me just click. Yeah, he's making a fire. Going to try and take out the fishing ships from Jordan. They're not really making so much of a difference at the moment. See, they are really just gathering shorefish, but this snook villager from Ming back here might prove to be a little bit of a nuisance later on if he can actually get anything, anything good going with that. have to wait and see, I guess. Waiting for KCAP over here to see what he's going to do. He's not actually scouted over this side, I don't think. Let's have a quick look. Oh no, he's seen the TC. So KCAP could be a good idea for him to get nice and aggressive right now. There's another mangonel coming out from him as well. Castle going up for long, and he has to stop this castle going up quickly. Because if that castle goes up, it's going to be pretty nasty, and it's going to mean that this whole setup here isn't going to be as effective as he really wants it to be. Jordan keeping the pressure on, Viper just working on a boom right now, and San continuing to make plumed archers. Of course they are so cheap, so he can boom whilst doing that as well. Jordan deciding he doesn't want any part of this in the centre. And KCAP getting up here with a transport ship. He's going to transport onto Long's home island. There's not a lot of villagers here, a lot of idols, but he is going to try and put pressure on by doing that. Castle went up for Long though, and now KCAP gonna have to think about going Imperial if he wants to take out this castle, unless he intends to ram rush it. But either way, it's not going to matter too much to him, even if it's a standoff with the castles, because he's going to have a transport ship any second now, and he's going to be in Long space right here. He could also transport all the way to the centre and drop some plummies off over this side, and that would do a lot of damage again for them guys over there. Jordan working on a boom, and that's 4 TCs for him. He is going to have a massive boom going on right here, and playing as Spanish, going to need a lot of food, going to need a lot of gold. But yeah, San doing a good job keeping the pressure on, raiding Viper as much as he can, and now we're seeing more fires from Ming. This villager at the back just building docks all over the place. Not really a lot to be gained from that, I don't think. We'll see. Might prevent them from transporting villagers and such, which is obviously going to be quite important. What's going on down here? TCs, castles from all of them, and this castle is going to have to be cancelled because that TC is going to go up before the villagers reach over there. But yeah, Viper playing as Saracens. I'm thinking what he could do in this situation. It would be nice to see him make Mamelukes, but I think a lot of siege would be nice. You see, he's putting a siege workshop down there. Viper could go with some mangonels, upgrade them to Onager once he gets Imperial, and just be the king of the siege in this game. Sorting out these docks at the back. Jordan doing pretty well right there. And you know, Ming here has a really low score compared to everyone else. I'm sort of wondering what he's doing. He's quite slow to get his economy up and running right now. Obviously having to relocate from this wood here, and he still only has 2 TCs, so it's well, oh dear. Viper not having a good game today, not at all. He did go, he kind of took one for the team, you know. He went really aggressive early on, trying to get, you know, take control of this centre island at the cost, of course, of getting beat in the castle age. He's lost a lot of villagers, which is not nice for him. But he should be able to defend if he makes another mangonel or two. Should be no problem whatsoever. KCAP then landed over at Long's base over here. Don't see many dead bodies around, so I can only assume he's not managed to kill that much, but at the very least, he's stopping Long from gathering. And that's a big deal. See how many villagers Long actually has in that TC, and we will see. Yeah, not too many. He's transported quite a few away, but even so, KCAP going to be an annoyance over here, and it's just going to be nice for him to have that. It would be nice though KCAP decides to get onto this island, as these plums could do a lot of damage over there. Sneaking past on the back as well. Are they going to find much back here? There is actually nothing in this corner of the map, so he's going for a sneak attack. Not really going to be so successful, I don't think. But I've got to say here, Shan doing a really good job with his plumed archers. He's all over the place trying to harass, but here we go now. 2 mangonels. Can he deal with the mangonels? Mangonel height. No. Viper missed. And San, I don't know, if Viper moves a mangonel over here and a mangonel over here, he could trap him in, sort of. We'll see. Is he going to get... Yeah, San's not paying attention. That's going to cost him quite a lot of health on these guys. They're all quite low now. He didn't actually manage to kill any, and another big attack, but still not killing any. They're all fairly low, and that's not nice for him. That means they're going to be a lot easier to pick off later on. But I thought, you know, Viper may have got a couple of mangonel shots off there. As I was saying before though, San doing a very good job here, keeping the harassment up with his plumed archers, continuing to just sort of hit and run wherever he can, make damage wherever he can. Looks like that's not going to last too long, but starting to get up these barracks now, which does say to me he's going up to Imperial. Indeed he is. And Eagle Warriors coming out, so he's going to be going with an Eagle Warrior rush, which is going to be a good idea for him actually, I think. Eagles, of course, with quite a high pierce armor, make a great raiding unit, and if he can eagle rush the Viper here, then he's going to find himself, well, Viper's going to find himself losing quite a lot of stuff. These Eagles are going to be able to do a reasonable amount of damage once they get over there. KCAP, actually, this is linked. He's going to be able to send these plumed archers right the way over here, maybe able to do some damage to Ming back at this TC. Meanwhile, KCAP's still in Long's base, and KCAP now up to Imperial, so we should see this area here being thwarted. Looks like a bit of slinging going on up here as well. We'll keep an eye on that. Looks like Purple is slinging Red, and he's doing that in order so that Red can make a lot more Eagles. However, Jordan is already up to Imperial. He's playing as Spanish, so he's going to have reasonable cavalry, and obviously we know that Paladins beat Eagle Warriors. Getting in there nice and quickly. Maybe able to do a good amount of damage here if he keeps this spam of, this Cavalier spam up. Interesting that Ming is still at the back. Viper just constantly harassed this game. They're really keeping the pressure on. KCAP back down this side. We'll keep an eye on that. And Treb out now for KCAP. This from Long is going to go down. And you know, Jordan, considering he's been away for some time, doing a really good job here, managing to put an end to this from San very quickly. And San making a quick tech switch, deciding to upgrade to Pikeman. We may see Halberdier from him, but very, very nicely done by Jordan here, bringing in some capture rams as well, and he is going to be able to, well, potentially put an end to this forward. And if this forward goes down from San, because obviously Long has been slinging him, if this goes down, then all of that resource is going to be wasted, and it's just not going to have any effect at all. It's just going to be a giant waste of time for them, and that could be the case. At this rate, it looks like it could go down pretty quickly. Capture rams in here, lots of Cavalier as well, and Jordan, let's quickly check, should be upgrading to Paladin right now. No, he's not. He's not got the resources for it yet, but even so, this Cavalier, backed up by a couple of Mangonel, going to be able to do a great deal of damage. If San is thwarted from here very quickly, then he's going to find himself in a bit of a tough spot, I think. More barracks come back here. The question is, there we go. Interesting. Jordan DC'd, but I think, yeah, we look at San resigned right there. Jordan DC'd, but that's going to be it. I think the JX team just resigning right there. They didn't say GG or anything, but either way, I think they decided that that was going to be it. TyRanT obviously going to be taking the first game then. Kind of unexpected resign. I thought they might have tried to carry on a little bit longer. That caught me off guard a little bit. I thought maybe they'd try a bit more, but obviously with this amount of pressure coming in at the front, and obviously San knowing that he wouldn't have enough to deal with this, he'd lose this whole area on the front right here, and they would have really nowhere to fall back. Couple that with the fact that KCAP putting the pressure on the left side on Long here, that would have gone down very quickly too. And the plumed archers at the back from KCAP this side, they know where Ming is, and he's going to be next on the hit list if San and Long went down. So game one goes to Team TyRanT, and